Good morning. 6 years of stimulus measures come to a halt as the U.S. Federal Reserve calls time on its bond buying program. President Park Geun-hye meets with rival party leaders in an effort to ask for cooperation in passing pending bills. And visitors are welcomed with open arms at this mountain village in Jeongseon, Gangwon-do Province. Get a feel of the good old traditional fun. And yes, it is that stuff used for wetsuits, but who would have imagined it being used as everyday wear? On Korea Today, Thursday, October 30th, 2014.
From Arirang News, this is Korea Today.
And good morning and welcome to Korea Today on this Thursday morning. I'm Kim Min-jung with Kim Young and Jin-ju. Now, the music you're listening to now is called Nongak. It's a folk music, and this might become an intangible cultural heritage designated by UNESCO.
Right. Nongak is a Korean traditional music originally played by farmers to encourage cooperation among themselves and enhance work efficiency during the peak times of farming. But nowadays, it's usually played during national holidays and rituals.
Okay, yeah, exactly. The shamanistic rituals. It used to be a part of that. It used to also accompany mass dances, parties, and much more. It was a very big part of agri life, or Nong life, as we like to call it. The farmers used to have, it used to be a big part of it.
I must really be a Korean because I'm getting excited hearing this music, right? Look at it.
Okay, and exactly, this has been put up for inscription for the UNESCO Cultural Heritage List, but we will get to that in just a moment and jump to our top headline for this Thursday morning. On Wednesday, President Park Geun-hye met with the leaders of the ruling Saenuri Party and the main opposition New Politics Alliance for Democracy and came to an agreement to work towards passing next year's budget bill by its deadline and bills regarding the Sewol ferry disaster by the end of this month. Now, during the meeting on Wednesday, President Park Geun-hye focused on the economic theme of her policy address, stressing the need for inter-party cooperation to revive the economy. At the meeting, leaders of the two main parties and the president reaffirmed the resolve to process the three bills that stemmed from the Sewol ferry disaster by Thursday. Other issues such as extending the deadline for the government employee pension reform was also on the table for discussion.
With the two Koreas continuing a tug-of-war over the issue of anti-North Korean leaflets, the inter-Korean high-level talks initially scheduled for today appears to be falling through. Pyongyang's National Defense Commission sent a notice to Seoul's National Security Office early Wednesday, saying the South Korean government is ignoring its calls to stop activists from releasing leaflets criticizing the communist regime and its leadership. In response, Seoul's Unification Ministry reiterated its position that the government has no legal ground to intervene, while condemning the North for taking issue with something that the government has no control over. Earlier this month, during a surprise visit by three high-ranking North Korean officials to South Korea, the two sides agreed to open senior-level dialogue in hopes of improving their ties.
And back to what we were talking about in the opening. According to the Cultural Heritage Administration, South Korea's Nongak community band music, dance, and rituals, and 6 North Korean variations of Arirang have been recommended for inscription to UNESCO's Intangible Cultural Heritage List. Those recommended for inscriptions are normally adopted by the UNESCO Committee as Intangible Cultural Heritages of Humanity. The final decision will be made in December after the Safeguarding Committee for the Intangible Cultural Heritage meets at the UNESCO headquarters in Paris at the tail end of November. Arirang would become North Korea's first item on the UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage List if added. South Korea's Arirang was added to the list in December 2012.
And we're nearing the end of the second week of the 3-week International Telecommunication Union Conference, which is currently being held in Korea's southern port city of Busan. And apart from the conference itself, various IT-related events and exhibitions are taking place at the venue. And today we're joined by Arirang News' Shin Se-min to give us a look back on what's been happening over the past 2 weeks or so. Good morning, Se-min.
Good morning, Chinju. Yes, while the high-level talks continue to take place every day, there is a continuous flow of developments also on the hosting nation, Korea. Earlier this week, Korea has been elected to the Council of the ITU for the 7th time as part of the 48 members nations, along with China and India. Now, also, the nation obtained the second largest number voting following China, taking one of the 13 seats designated to the Asian region. Dubbed the most wired country in the world, Korea first joined the ITU back in 1952 during the Korean War and has earned the prestige of being elected as a member nation since attending the board of directors in 1989 for the first time. The post will last for 4 years, starting from January of 2015. And just this past week, Korean researcher Lee Jae-sub was elected as the director of the ITU's Telecommunications Standardization Bureau as the nation's first bureau chief at the UN's ICT arm. The bureau basically provides secretarial support for the work of the ITU sectors and sets standards for information on international telecommunications worldwide.
And Taemin, you did report about this while you were in Busan, but there's a lot of events showcasing the latest technologies in the IT sectors. Tell us more about that.
Yes, this week it did start off with Health IT Show, which showcased various technologies that could be used on medical front at hospitals and also at homes. And also on Tuesday, 7 individuals and organizations were honored with an award that aims to elevate the role of women in the ICT industry. Now, co-organized with UN Women, the first ever GemTech Awards included iMerit Technology Services from India and UNESCO, which fostered an e-learning project that brings the role of women in African history under the spotlight. Now, delegates in the related industry also held a high-level talks discussing ways to better promote women's talents in the field of IT. And just yesterday, U Paperless Conference also took place, where a group of experts gathered to discuss the possible directions for Korea in fully implementing such services, of spreading the use of electronic documentation on the domestic front and making inroads to the global market.
That U Paperless service surely seems that it will add greater convenience to our everyday lives. And with just a little over 1 week left, what can we expect from the rest of the conference and the event?
Yes, on the ITU front, delegates and representatives will continue to make final revisions and agreements on and decide on the resolutions as well as strategic plans for the ITU conferences. Now, also starting next week, a science festival will kick off where spectators will be able to try on some of the latest technologies and share and compare both domestic and international technologies all at the same time. And the conference will finally come to a close on Friday.
All right, Taemin, thank you for that wrap up.
Yes, you're welcome.
Good morning. It's time to run through the front pages of your newspapers. And as you heard as a top story in the program's headlines, President Park Geun-hye urged the rival parties yesterday during a meeting at the National Assembly to support her government's economic stimulus plan for next year. We'll briefly take a look at how it is. The story is written on 동아일보, and the title says President's Economy versus Opposition Constitutional Amendment. And if we take a look at the sub-headlines, as the title implies, President Park's main focus was the economy, as she emphasized that now is a golden time or the last opportunity to boost the economy. In the meantime, Moon Hee-sang, interim leader of the main opposition New Politics Alliance for Democracy, raised the issue of revising the Constitution, stressing that now is also the golden time for a constitutional amendment. Now, this is that trilateral meeting that went on for about an hour between the president and the leading lawmakers of the rival parties, which took place after President Park addressed the National Assembly. Now, it was the president's meeting together with both the parties for the first time in 13 months after September of last year. Now, moving on to another story on 중앙일보, and this one is regarding Russia and North Korea on a railway project. Now, the title says Russia to invest $25 billion in modernizing North Korea's railway. So it looks like Russia is taking on the North Railway project. The joint project called Victory is aimed at refurbishing the dilapidated Daedong, Gangdong, Nampo railway network in the north and is estimated to take about 20 years, according to the CEO of the Russian construction company NPO Mostovic, which is a participant of the project. The railway passage runs about 3,200 kilometers and is considered a critical industrial transportation route through Pyongyang. In return for the railway reconstruction, North Korea has agreed to allow Russia to develop and process the country's natural resources, such as rare earth resources and coal. And now on to our business papers, on to the Mail Business newspaper first up. This one is on where a lot of money has been flowing into lately. This is titled Investors Resort to Commercial Properties and Overseas Bonds. And taking a look at this subheadline, the super low interest rates have left investors bewildered about where to invest, and they are flocking to commercial properties put up for pre-sale as well as foreign bonds. The new commercial properties and auction markets are gathering steam because extremely low interest rate has stepped up quite a bit of interest in for-profit real estate, and investors seeking high returns on investments amid the low rates are also eyeing foreign bonds because although bonds of emerging countries carry a foreign exchange rate risk, so sovereign bonds have little chance of default. Now, for instance, 5 brokerages, including Mirae Assets Securities, sold a total of $1 billion worth of Brazilian bonds this year. And finally, on to the Korea Economic Daily for this header at the top. And this is called Houses and Factories to be Built on Leftover Absolute Farmlands. Now here, the absolute farmland refers to an agricultural development region that is less than 2 hectares in size. That is quite a big size. And the government is seeking to lift development restrictions on these regions as a whole, which were used only for farming, so that they can be transformed into development potential lands where personal homes, factories, and other accommodations or lodging facilities can be built. And that was a look at our local headlines for this Thursday. Now following are the stock numbers from Wednesday.
Let's now get a check on the weather. You know, these days it's hard to choose what to wear because mornings can be quite cold and afternoons are pretty warm.
And it's that ambiguous cold where it's not too cold where you can't wear a parka or a large, jacket, heavy, thick coat. It's kind of in the middle, right? But we might have the answer later on our program on our fashion segment. Neoprene just might be the answer. But before we do get to that, we'll find out what today's weather is going to be like with Chun Sung-cho joining us. Good morning, Sung-cho.
Good morning, P. Sung-cho.
Good morning, guys. Yes, it's amazing how temperatures can plunge so much overnight these days. It's another chilly morning at 10 degrees Celsius in Seoul, and the skies are looking a lot cloudier today due to the high-pressure system drifting away from the peninsula. And even more clouds will start to build up starting this evening because we have a 3-day-long nationwide shower coming our way. It'll begin from the southern regions tonight and gradually spread elsewhere, especially the southern regions and Jeju are facing a risk of strong storms with thunder and lightning, so people should watch for how the weather conditions develop in those areas over the next couple of days. And for those who are not pleased with this rainy weather forecast, don't worry. A good news is that temperatures won't fluctuate as much once it starts to rain. Mornings will be warmer and afternoons will be cooler. With that, let's take a closer look at today's temperature readings. After starting off with a chilly morning, afternoon highs are looking warm all throughout the country, hovering around the 20-degree mark. A lot of people are getting colds these days due to the big temperature gap between the highs and lows, so take care of your body. And on that note, I'll be back later in the show with a rather special sport. Stay tuned for that, and now back to you, Minjang.
The U.S. Federal Reserve has delivered a widely expected but nonetheless landmark decision in the wee hours of this morning. Our Eunice Kim has more on this. Good morning to you, Eunice.
Good morning.
So the Fed is saying that the time has come to end its stimulus bond buying program, and it cited improvements on the economic outlook.
That's right. This month is the last month. And as you said, it was a widely expected decision that came at the end of a two-day meeting of the Federal Open Market Committee in Washington, D.C. In a statement, the Fed noted gains in the outlook for the labor market and the underlying strength of the broader economy, using bullish verbiage such as solid job gains and lower unemployment. The jobs market was not completely back on track, though, which is why it said it will maintain interest rates in the 0% to 0.25% target range for what it called a considerable time. The end to the quantitative easing program comes 6 years after its launch in November of 2008. You'll remember at the height of the global financial crisis. The U.S. Central Bank has since then cut back on its stimulus program in $10 billion increments since last year. The World Health Organization is expressing cautious optimism that the Ebola epidemic is slowing down in Liberia. The group's Assistant Director General, Dr. Bruce Aylward, cited positive signs such as empty beds in treatment centers and the number of burials declining. He said the week-to-week trend could be attributed to the major public awareness campaign in the country, followed by a rise in safe burials and in the number of infected people isolating themselves. Liberia has already seen more than 2,700 Ebola deaths. Aylward underlined that the fight against the virus is far from over, though. He said the number of confirmed cases has now exceeded 13,700, with the fatality rate remaining consistent at 70%. Nearly all of the Ebola deaths have been in Sierra Leone, Liberia, and Guinea. The WHO plans to increase the number of treatment centers and beds and is seeking foreign medical teams to staff them.
And we have another deadly landslide in Sri Lanka, and this is caused by heavy monsoon rains. And I believe dozens are feared dead. Or what do we know so far?
Well, Minjung, the country's disaster management minister, said he believes more than 100 people are under the mud and debris. Hundreds others are still missing in the central Sri Lankan district of Badula. Local reports say an area of about 2 kilometers was affected by this landslide, crushing about 140 houses and washing away several national highways. A top military official told the AFP news agency that homes were buried under 9 meters of mud. Another official said many children have become orphans as their parents were believed to have been home when those mudslides struck. Search efforts are being hampered by bad weather and the possibility of even more landslides. With that, we'll wrap your look at the global headlines we're following this morning.
And coming up, get ready to take off to Jeongseon in Gangwon-do Province, to a cozy mountain village where any visitor is welcomed with open arms. After a bit of good old traditional fun at the village, prepare to be awed by the natural wonders of Hwaam Cave.
And that cave has been so well preserved. And speaking of preservation, conservation, as well as animal rights, that's all been on the board these days. We do hear a lot about global warming and much more, and conservation to protect what? Do we really have an idea of what we're protecting? And to get a better look at that, joining us is Im Yoon-hee to tell us exactly what's out there to protect.
Exactly. So, it seems like we get further away from nature when we get closer to technology, and we don't realize how many species of plants and animals are really in need of protection. And so Brazilian photographer Sebastião Salgado has spent over half of his life traveling the world capturing these natural wonders, and now he shares them with us. So take a look.
The wonders of nature.
the hidden jewels of the world. They're becoming all too distant, almost a thing of the past. Brazilian photographer Sebastião Salgado has realized this alarming degradation of our planet and our ecosystems. And for the past 40 years, he's trekked the natural world, capturing images of the beauty that he hopes to preserve. Known for his huge photo documentary projects, Salgado's most recent opus, titled Genesis, takes the audience to a world that's been here since the beginning.
This masterpiece is the work of over 8 years and over 30 trips, the bulk of which was spent seeking animals, even by hot air balloon.
From animals to the everyday lives of indigenous people, Salgado traveled to the far corners of different continents, compiling what he calls his love letter to the planet. And sticking to his favorite black and white style, he produces powerful images of a world untouched by modern times. At the end of the day, Salgado believes his images will spread awareness of issues of the environment and climate change, things that are endangering the sheer existence of the breathtaking wonders he captures in each frame.
You know, those are some beautiful photographs of not no cityscape, but everything's in black and white, number one, of natural areas. And also we see pictures of animals and what exactly we're trying to conserve over here, the people that are feeding off the land, the animals that are feeding off the land as well. Now tell us about the photographer. He obviously has seen a lot more than any of us have, traveling to these places and seeing with his own eyes what exactly global warming is doing to these areas.
And his passion really stems from his childhood. So he's actually born in a farm in Brazil. And so he said from there he really learned to love and respect nature. And so that's when he decided to become a photojournalist and go around documenting these scenes. But like you heard in the report, he travels sometimes via hot air balloon, and he really wants to stay close to nature. So he likes to travel via foot, on canoe. He likes to stay away from the big planes and the helicopters as well, to be one with nature. And so he really said that 46%, he says that 46% of the world is still in its natural state of genesis, what he says. And so he wants to go around capturing these images to share with the rest of the world, people who cannot access these as well.
There's been a lot of photographers in the past, videographers, documentarists who have been around and about filming some of these areas. What makes him different, except for the fact that he actually does everything in black and white? He does have a great style, but what exactly would you say that makes him different from others?
So many people have really been trying to document these species of animals or even cultures that seem to be, that are at risk of disappearing within the next few decades. And so Salgado is actually very well known for his monochrome, and he's been considered one of the most important photojournalists of the 21st century for that. And so he creates these very descriptive images, and he takes tons and tons of them. So he has 3 big series, and this is his 3rd series. And so definitely something worth checking out.
I think it really has to be difficult trying to choose which one to pick for his piece, because he does have tons, I'm sure thousands and thousands of photographs from each location. All right, thank you very much, Uni, for joining us today.
You're very welcome.
And we talked about wetsuits earlier, from wetsuits to the everyday lives of people. Now, this is called Neoprene. It is usually found on wetsuits to keep you warm if you do go in the water, but now we're going to be seeing it in the workshops of designers and closets of celebrities. That's right, Neoprene, once again, a fabric most famously known as scuba suit material, has gone mainstream, and K-Style shows you how to wear it, and it's not skin tight like the scuba gear.
We're going to get you a neoprene jacket on top of that.
I've eyed one there.
So what do you do when the school that your kids go to is about to close down because there simply aren't enough students?
Protest in front of the school?
Maybe, that's one idea.
Right. Well, parents of students at a small elementary school in Jeongseon-do Province turned to social network services to help save the school. We'll find out more with our Seo Mi-sorang joining us in the studio. Good morning, Mi-sorang.
Good morning.
Good morning, guys. So what started out as just one single article on that school quickly turned viral. So at the start of the year, there were only 6 students at the Ubong Elementary School. And I don't mean 6 per class. I mean 6 in the entire school.
Wow.
So it was a small school in a small village to begin with, but with families moving to bigger cities, it shrunk even more over the last couple of years. So with only 6 students remaining and the school about to close, parents decided to take matters into their own hands. Through Facebook, Twitter, and Neighbors Band, they posted pictures of students playing in nature, and they also wrote about the range of free sports and music programs being offered. Now, as a result, one by one, students from other villages and inner cities transferred to Ubong Elementary School, and there are now 21 students, with 2 more to come in December.
They must have really been glad to see these new classmates joining them.
Right, and you know, some parents said that because they've been dying for more classmates for such a long time, when newcomers come, they're genuinely very excited, and some actually lose sleep over it.
Oh,
so really cute.
Maybe if you could get me the address of this school, I think I might consider.
All right, now I've got 2 pictures that I want to show you. The first one is this. They're gilt bronze masks from 2nd, 3rd century Korea, which makes it the oldest Korean mask to be discovered so far. They've been recently brought in from Japan, and they were displayed to the public for the very first time yesterday at the National Museum of Korea.
Now, looks like someone I know.
Let's go back. Who?
Some celebrity by the name of
Kim Bong-soo. Yeah. All the top 10 replies online were to do with that, with Kim Bong-soo. Anyway, so the second picture that I want to show you is this. It's a typical. Let's go back. It's a typical tap water storage facility in Seoul. And as you can see, it's lined by stainless steel. Now, the problem with these storage facilities is that these joints where one stainless steel plate meets another where it's soldered, they're very prone to corrosion and have to be updated. They have to be retouched every couple of years. But the great news is that after 4 years of extensive research, the Seoul city government came up with a way to prevent this corrosion by forming a thick protective coating over these joints using nitric and hydrofluoric acid.
So when will the Seoul city government start using this new technology?
Very soon. So this technology was patented last year, and it will be incorporated into existing facilities by early next year. So very soon. Now, wrapping up, do you guys remember earlier this year when Young-ae helped save a premature baby?
Right. She helped pay the medical costs.
Exactly, yeah. So, well, she's going to be getting an award for that. It's called, it's got a very long name. It's called Fervent Global Love of Lives Medal. It's given by a Taiwanese nonprofit to those who encourage others to cherish life. And it's often dubbed the Nobel Prize in Life by the international media. And so far, there have been around 300 recipients from 48 countries. Now, if we rewind back to earlier this year, Young-ae spent around $100,000 to cover, as you mentioned, the medical costs for a Taiwanese baby who was born prematurely in Korea.
She also received a token of gratitude from the Taiwanese government.
Exactly,
too, right?
and she received it from the Taiwanese ambassador in Seoul, and it was actually during this occasion when she went to grab the plaque that she heard news about receiving this medal.
She is so beautiful inside and out.
I don't want to stand next to her.
Right. All right, well, thank you, Misoran.
You're welcome.
And next up, our Esther is standing by with today's sports updates.
And a good Thursday morning to you all as we kick things off with the 2018 Pyeongchang Winter Games, which is still about 4 years away. But the organizing committee has plans for the figure queen Kim Yeon-ah leading up to the big event. Now on Wednesday, the Pyeongchang Winter Games organizing committee announced that Kim Yeon-ah has been appointed as the newest honorary ambassador for the Winter Olympics in 4 years, with an official ceremony set to take place on November 4th. The Vancouver gold medalist becomes the 6th honorary ambassador, as names like Chu Shin-soo of the Texas Rangers and ballerina Kang Soo-jin were also previously appointed. And shifting over to the 2014 National Sports Festival, which is currently taking place in Jeju. And on Wednesday, a new world record was set in the men's 70-meter recurve competition. And the new world record holder is 22-year-old Kim Woo-jin out of Cheongju City Hall team, as he shot 352 points with 36 arrows, breaking the previous world record of 350 points. But on the same day, the previous record holder Kim Jong-ho broke his own record with 351 points, but lost to Kim Woo-jin by a single point. And now moving over to artistic gymnastics this time, where the latest world rankings were announced in the sport, but a familiar name was not included in the list of 46 gymnasts. Now, despite his nickname God of All, 22-year-old London gold medalist Jeongseon was not included in the latest world ranking after finishing with a silver medal during the Incheon Asian Games and finishing in 7th place at the World Championships earlier this month. A huge drop for Jeongseon, as he was previously ranked tied for 4th in 2013, but North Korea's Lee Se-kwang jumps up a few spots after a year, as he's currently ranked tied for 11th after winning gold at the World Championships. And now moving over to domestic baseball this time, where SK Wyverns ace Kim Kwang-hyun held a press conference on Wednesday as he formally announced his decision to go MLB bound next season. Now, speaking alongside SK Wyverns top officials and his parents, the 26-year-old discussed his plans leading up to him being posted sometime next month. He added that it's not the money he's interested in, but his dream of playing in the majors. Now, Kim, who made his debut back in 2007, has a career record of 83-49 with an ERA of 3.30 and is estimated to be posted for around 10 to 12 million US dollars. And that's going to wrap it up for me. This has been SJ. Have a great rest of the day and see you guys again for your sports needs.
놓치고 싶지 않아 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 뒤돌아보니 이미 사라진 그대 뒤늦게 뛰어봐도.
All right, let's go horse riding for a change.
All right, we're going to do something a little bit special. It is the perfect weather to do that, especially during the daytime when it does warm up just a bit, right?
Mm-hmm. And for this year's National Sports Festival, the equestrian sports event will be taking place. It was taking place yesterday, and it will continue on today until today. So we'll go over to our Chun Sung-cho, who's out there with the horses.
She's also quite an equestrian herself.
Right. Over to you, Sung-cho.
Good morning, guys, again, and I'm reporting live from the Misari Riding Park. And of course, as you can see, I'm not alone this morning. I'm with this big guy as a guest. Okay, so you may wonder why horses? The 95th National Sports Festival is taking place all the way in Jeju-do Island starting from last Tuesday. And of course, equestrian games are one of the featured sports there. It's a really special sport because obviously you're dealing with these lovely horses. And then also the Korean equestrian national team is really well known for being one of the biggest one of the best in Asia. They actually finished really strong at the recent Incheon Asian Games. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with the sports, I'm here all geared up, as you can see, to demonstrate how to ride a horse. So let me introduce you my partner of the day, Tanbi, a 10-year-old mare. Isn't she adorable? I already bribed her with like 10 sugar cubes previously, so I hope she's nice to me today. Okay, so first I'm gonna mount a horse, all right? So with the help, 여기로 와주시겠어요? 제가 올라갈게요. Okay, so I'm gonna mount a horse, and then you have to remember to do it always from the left side of the horse.
She knows exactly what she's doing,
hold the rein like this, and then put your foot on the stirrup, and then kick, mount.
Wow.
Okay, so now I'm on the horse. So first, now that you're on the horse, you have to make sure that you maintain this upright posture all the time. You have to make sure that you can draw a straight line, perpendicular line from your head, hip, head, heel to the ground. And this way, it's really good for you, especially when it comes to strengthening your backbone and improving your balance. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to ask the horse to move forward. You squeeze the sides of the horse with your legs like this, and then you make a clicking sound with your tongue, like this. Okay, so let me show you.
I thought you have to
Okay, so the horse is moving right now.
I guess not.
Or whip him.
And then if you want to halt, you sit
wrong.
tight, and then you pull the rein like this. Now you halted. Okay, so let me show you 3 main gaits of a horse. first. This is walking, of course. And then
wow.
This is trotting. And then now.
Oh, is she gonna jump?
Okay.
Run.
This is cantering. Okay.
I think Songcho will be out of breath.
Okay, I'm out of breath.
It's actually a vigorous exercise just being on that thing.
Right. Just watching it too.
As you can see, it looks like I'm not doing anything on the horse, but the horse is, and then the horse is doing all the work for me, but it's a full body strenuous exercise, definitely. And the reason why horse riding is so special and unique is that you're dealing with live animals, so each horse has a different unique characteristics and personalities, and your riding techniques have to adjust to the type of the horse that you're riding. And when you're feeling like you're truly connecting with the horse, you feel that communication, it's really the best feeling ever. And I think this morning, today, me and Tanvi, I think we did a pretty good job, right? Okay, I'm out of breath. This is all for me with Korea Today, Chun Song-cho. Okay, let's go, Tanvi.
I think we have to mention that run by Songcho there. The horse did all the running and she's out of breath.
Well, she has explained to us how she did, so hats off to Songcho right there.
Thank you for that.
If horse riding is not your cup of tea, maybe sightseeing is, and we're going to take you to Jeongseon in Gangwon-do Province today. And Joey Mercadante joins us. Good morning to
Joey.
you. Do you ride horses too?
Good morning. No, I don't ride horses.
Have you ever ridden a horse?
You know, maybe that'll be up and coming on one of my segments. So yeah, you're right. We're headed to Jeongseon in the Gangwon-do Province. And it is this beautiful place. The colors right now are just spectacular, especially at the remote mountain village that I visited. Plus, I visited a cave for the first time in my life.
Wow.
So I get to share that with you today. And it's a very special cave in that it's 500 million years old.
500 million
Yeah.
years? Wow.
So I get to share that with you today. Plus, of course, I did other great stuff that I'll show you. So let's take a look and see how much fun I had. About 3 hours east from Seoul is Jeongseon in Gangwon-do Province. The mountainous county lies right at the center of Korea's Baekdu-daegan mountain range, a region with towering cliffs and precipices. With Donggang River moving between the mountains, Jeongseon is also home to the Jeongseon variation of Korea's folk song and unofficial anthem, Arirang. Today, my friend Timo joined me for my autumn trip to Jeongseon, which was going to start at a remote mountain village. Hi. Kemidul village was named Kemidul, meaning ants, because the villagers were just as hard-working. We soon learned that they were also very generous and warm-hearted. We begin at a cornfield. Corn is the main crop of Gangwon-do Province. The big difference in day to night temperatures here gives the corn kernels a soft, delicious, chewy texture, and we'd be picking some today.
What was that net that she was wearing? A mosquito net or something, huh?
One more. It's to protect the stalks from hitting you in the face.
Oh, really?
Yep. We worked hard, but everyone was in really good spirits.
This reminds me of my childhood days. That makes me happy. And I'm glad to be here with my family.
The corn harvested around late fall is prepared for its seeds, which will be planted the next year. That's why they had to be hung and dried.
This corn looks fresh, delicious, and the fact that I harvested it myself is even more special, so it's time to eat.
That's pretty good.
At the village, there was also a place set up for Pungmul Nanta experience. You know I love music, so I got my groove on with Pungmul traditional percussion music. Timo and I both did, actually.
It was good, and I feel stressless.
Next on the Village Experience program, a walk out to the pristine village stream. So clear you could see the trout swimming. Now before the trout fishing, we had to dress the part, Jeongseon style.
Fishing in style. Whoa, the fishing hasn't even started yet, but this background, I mean, take a look at this, at the backdrop, the water.
Wow.
I've done a lot of travel reports, but this is something really, really special.
Now trout are infamously particular about their environment. The tastiest and most nutritious, of course, are trout living in the highest quality of water. And we really wanted to see if that was true.
You can see that the water is really clear.
Yeah. Now Timo's happiness was short-lived. The trout here were strong and surprisingly fast. And we finally had to get a net to catch some.
Woohoo, this is great. The first time I've ever caught fish in this method before. No line, no hook. Wow, woohoo!
Seeing how much my children love fishing and picking corn makes me very happy.
Enjoying the fresh air and taking part in this experience is great. Can't wait to catch trout and eat it.
And now, time to taste the trout we caught. We wrapped it in aluminum foil and put them on the fire. And hey, if you like fish, this is the way to eat it. The fish was cooked to perfection.
Look at that.
Plus we got roasted sweet potatoes and corn too.
The meat looks similar to salmon, right?
It does, yes.
It does. Oh, sweet potato is sweet.
The food was delicious.
We caught the fish ourselves, and it's so much more delicious. Oh, tastes like heaven. Wow. 진짜 맛있어요.
Back on the move, we're headed to Jeongseon hotspot Hwaam Cave. A monorail takes visitors right to the entrance of the cave. A nice touch to the scenic ride. Jeongseon Arirang music playing softly in the monorail car. Hwaam Cave is a former gold mine and natural stalactite cave that's 1,803 meters long. Though the mine has long since closed, it was preserved in its original form, and you can even see some of the gold veins that are left.
Oh, it's gold? Pieces of gold, yeah.
That's real gold.
Whoa, look at that. We're so high, and it goes down so deep. Follow me, but watch your head. This place is really mystic, mysterious, right? Like,
I think it's more scary.
Scary, okay.
Is it colder down there?
You saw the tiger.
Does it get colder the lower you get?
It is cold down there. Bring a jacket.
Oh.
You're having a lot of fun.
Whoa.
Are there bats in there?
There are, yes. Now here's the highlight of the Hwaam Cave, the Grand Stalactite Cavern, a 2,080 square meter limestone cavern.
In my life.
We were just in awe.
And it's huge. It makes me feel small.
Yeah, actually, feels small.
The rugged outdoors, nature that really makes your jaw drop. Villages with warm-hearted, kind residents. There's so much to see and do at Jeongseon in Gangwon-do Province. It's time you take a trip out there yourself and check it out.
Now, first things first, the bat deal. There are bats in there?
Apparently
she's
so.
asking because she wants to go. And
I want to go, but I
she doesn't
want to
go there if she finds out there are bats in there. There may be.
I saw pictures of bats. I didn't see any real bats.
Okay, well, it's quite impressive. And you said 500 million years. Wow, that's amazing.
It is.
And this was your first time
My
to a
first
cave.
time, just a great experience. I mean, and actually this particular cave is the only natural limestone cave in the world that has a gold vein running through it. So it's a very special cave in that. And it's actually top 5 in terms of gold mines in Korea. This particular gold mine there is called the Cheonpo gold mine. And yeah, it was great. The stalagmites and the stalactites are just so breathtaking because you think about how they've been formed, like
formation
calcium forming slowly,
just to form
and how long it's taken to become that which you see. It almost feels like the bones of the earth. Like
it's the artwork that Mother Earth creates.
Absolutely, and inside the cave they've got their own ecosystem and all these cave organisms. It's really fascinating, and it is a little bit cold. So yes, you want to bring a jacket. And I didn't see any bats, but there might be.
Make a mental note of that.
And going back to Gyeonggi Village, you and your friend had a small fashion show, and you look quite happy talking to your friend rather than a statue as you used to do in our previous reports. How did you like it?
Yeah, I always know that I get to come back and report what I've seen to you guys and to our viewers back home. So truly, I never feel alone. But having someone there to really experience it, physically experience what I experience is nice.
And share the joy.
Yeah, and I think it also brought us closer as friends, so that was nice.
Okay, so out of all the things you did, you went trout fishing, you went this and that, right? You visited the cave. Which one is one not to miss? I mean, let's say you don't have a lot of time and you can only choose one. What would you recommend?
Okay, I'll choose the trout fishing. I really liked putting on the gear. I got to put on the full gear, and you get in the water, but you're not in the water. You're not getting wet, so that's a nice. And the water's a bit colder now too, so everything is really set up nice for you.
Okay, wow. And there's a 5-day market as well that takes place.
So yeah, we've got the Jeongseon 5-day traditional market. For market dates, just check online on the website. And the best part of the marketplace is the food there, of course, delicious regional specialties made with fresh natural ingredients. And also what we're looking at here is the Gangwon land. It's got a casino, it's a hotel resort, and as you can see, the most popular activity here is this, the Alpine Coaster. It's an amazing ride down the mountainside on a 2.2-kilometer long rail.
Got that. So we'll definitely check out Jeongseon maybe this weekend.
Yeah, you should.
Okay, thank you so much, Joey.
You're very welcome.
Joey.
Thank you.
What's the hottest look from the fashion world recently? Trendsetters are saying yes to the rising star Neoprene. Even celebrities, the pickiest of fashionistas, are donning Neoprene styles. Best known as the material scuba suits are made of, Neoprene is from the synthetic rubber family. It's described as a spongy material that's smooth to the touch. Neoprene fabric makes for clothing with simple silhouettes, and as a fashion textile, it's used to make jackets, coats, dresses, and much more. Bright colors and variety in styles have made this a popular look among the women.
This trendy item is lighter than I thought.
First off, it doesn't get wrinkled and it's very comfortable to wear.
The doesn't wrinkle factor is a big selling point. So is the fact that neoprene clothing is very warm but lightweight. Now, with all this attention from the public, of course, designers are going to bring us more. Here they're focusing on more elaborate colors as well as prints.
At first, neoprene clothing was just made to be more lightweight than a scuba suit. Then the design started changing, so it's becoming more and more desirable textile for consumers.
Once again, a simple neoprene silhouette, but now with a bold print. With a neoprene top, go with fitted on the bottom. Other neoprene steady sellers are A-line skirts and dresses. Neoprene fabric is also shaped into other fashion items such as bags and shoes. Keep an eye out for neoprene fashion because designers aren't done with it yet. Try out the look in the colder fall-winter season.
Now, from function to fashion, neoprene the rubbery, the spongy fabric has found its way to the wardrobe of many fashionistas, including our Jennifer Kim and Misorang here. Good morning to you guys.
Good morning.
Right, you're pulling it off. I'm surprised.
Because it's an oversized skirt. So it's an A-line skirt, and I love this color yellow, so I'm very comfortable right now. And Misorang's also wearing
I've got
one
a dress/top on. It's very comfy, very lightweight, and it's really warm.
I love the silhouette.
And you know how it's really cold in the studio normally, but this one, it's like having a little coat on.
Well, just as we saw in the report, because it's made of the scuba suit material, it's kind of like a semi-rubber, so it actually insulates your body, so it's perfect for the winter time. And also it's so light and very, very durable, and it's wrinkle-free. So it's kind of like the new futuristic look of fashion. I saw it all over the runways at New York Fashion Week and Seoul Fashion Week as well.
I see. I love that it's wrinkle-free. You mentioned it, but I feel like it's not for everyone, and then people have different body types, and some people might look
a bit chunky.
Right, chubby. So give us some tips on how to avoid that.
Okay, so well, there's so many different styles and also different levels of thickness as well. So you just have to keep those things in mind. First of all, when you're choosing your jackets, usually they come in different lengths, but they're kind of like a bomber style jacket. So what I recommend is to make sure that you choose the right length for your body type. If you're a bit longer, then you can go for something that's a bit longer as well. So it kind of just balances out together. And of course, there's different types of length sleeves as well. And for tops, they're coming in these oversized tops. If they're short sleeves, they usually come in medium-sized length sleeves because they sort of like bomb out a little bit and it adds a little bit of volume to your overall body. So what I recommend with these oversized tops is to pair it with some tight pants or something that kind of balances out together. And these look really good for sort of like a sort of semi-rocker chic kind of look and some snapbacks. So they're really cool at the moment. And we'll be seeing some other people wearing it in studio. And also for skirts, what I recommend is to go for A-line skirts, not
like the one you've got on.
Skirts. Instead of pencil line, what I recommend is something like this, which is a little bit flared and goes in at the waist, and it also gives you a little bit of a flirty effect and also elongates your legs if you're wearing it together with some high heels. But if you've got a little bit of a worry about your stomach, there are actually these mermaid dresses. These ones are called mermaid skirts.
This is tight around the waist.
Yeah, so it's got like this band and an added sort of
like a cincher effect.
Yeah, it does. It holds everything in and it's super comfortable. And I think it looks really cute.
I guess you can hide the belly with the top over.
Yeah, but you know, fashion trends come and go and fabrics come and go. This is one of those very unique fabrics. So I'm afraid maybe next year this might not be in anymore. So the key is to choose something that would last forever. Nothing lasts forever in fashion, but of course,
something more classic.
Yeah, exactly. What are some of the everlasting pieces that you would recommend?
So just like having the little black dress, which is like a staple piece in your outfit, in your wardrobe, I recommend just to go for bold colors that are simple, like classic whites, blacks, sort of like a monotone or a steer clear away from prints.
Anything for us? Maybe you can show us?
So maybe something simple like the white one that you were holding before. That one is going to be good for, I guess, to suit. It doesn't really matter if this material goes out of fashion. You can still pair it together with
a basic color.
You can wear
just
it with
a basic staple
skinny
piece.
jeans or leggings, just some tight knit wear in the bottom,
really comfortable.
Right?
And as you know, in Korea, these oversized tops are so in trend. They've been in trend for a very long time. It's just the material is the new thing.
That keeps changing.
Right.
Yeah, so you can definitely make sure that these things won't go out of style. So that's it. And also, you can also pair it together with different accessories. So I thought maybe I could accessorize Misorang a little bit. What I recommend for accessories when you're wearing neoprene is something that's really bold, like this
chunky necklaces
that I'm wearing together. Yeah, if it's small and like fragile looking, it'll sort of disappear on your clothing. So I just come over to you. So this one is just a grey one. And I thought that it would just complement.
Ooh, nice. The colors go together for sure.
Looks much better with the accessory, right?
Yeah, and it can look feminine at the same time, whilst neoprene is known to have a sort of in the middle sort of unisex overall look to it.
Speaking of unisex, we need some male models around here. Young,
right.
I don't know if he can pull off.
I can't pull it off.
Maybe how about Joey? I know he's a great model.
Joey,
come on.
Joey could pull it off.
You just walk in like a model. You're rocking the stage now. Tell us about this
Joey
look.
looks amazing.
What do you guys think?
What I think is for guys is these kind of metallic shades look really, really cool. And I think black as well was something that I was going to recommend for Joey. But
It looks almost like leather.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
Let me just add that Joey is a
leather.
model part-time, so he's supposed to look good in those things.
Okay, well, enough with the
jealousy.
I just do the show. I'm not a model.
Let me try that one.
So
this one looks even more like a leather bomber jacket.
But the good thing about this is that it is so durable, whereas leather can sort of crease up after a while. These things don't have any creases, it's wrinkle-free, and it's so warm for the winter.
And leather is heavy, and this is light.
It is light and flexible.
You know, and another advantage of neoprene is that if you're at the beach or something, you don't have any swimming, anything, you can just go ahead and jump in because it's made of the same material as wetsuits.
That is true.
Jump right in.
We've also got some other models here today to show us how to rock this look.
All right, how about you guys all come here and we'll close the show from here. Wow, look at Seongyeon's rocking that look over there.
Right, so Sunny's wearing that oversized top, very similar to this one.
Oversized top and
Young's coming on board, so Young.
What are you going to try on?
All right, well, let's have a little fashion show. And I'm sure Seongyeon and Joey can rock those looks.
I think maybe
looks good. It actually looks very good.
All right, well, this is where we're going to say goodbye on this Thursday morning.
All right, enjoy your Thursday, and whoop, it's already Friday tomorrow. Have a good day. We'll see you back here Friday morning at 7 a.m.
Thank you for watching.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Looking good.